Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Monday, April 19th. This is our Downtown SLO Response and Recovery Call. We have these meetings every Monday morning at 10 a.m. Through the month of April, and we are going to be changing the time for and the frequency of these meetings going forward in May. As we begin to become vaccinated and our programs come back and our team is working on other items, we will be shifting these meetings to happening once a month. So look for that notification in your inbox. But for the time being, it's great to see everybody every week, and we're happy that you take the time out of your busy weekend, especially first thing on a Monday, to join us. So thank you for being here, and a special thanks to our board of directors. We had a very busy, jam-packed board of directors meeting last week and talked about a lot of really important things, including farmers market, parking, concerts in the plaza, all kinds of activities that we all love to talk about downtown that are not necessarily the pandemic. It's sort of nice to hear that we're talking about things like parking again instead of disease transmission. Although I do want to be very clear that we do still have the disease out there. And while the vaccination rates are okay, we still could do a better job of getting ourselves vaccinated. We have a little bit of a staff update for you. We have a new member of our team who, unfortunately, I did not list on this slide, but she is on this call. We have a new part-time graphic and communications specialist with us. Rachel Lackman is joining us, and this is a position that we are sharing with the SLO Children's Museum. So we're really excited to have Rachel join our team and to be working with another nonprofit in the downtown to provide full-time employment through the both of us. So welcome to our team, Rachel. And that is about that. So with that, we'll invite the other Rachel Maiorino, to talk about where we are in our COVID reality this week. Good morning, Rachel.
Good morning, Bettina. Thank you. So as of Friday, we are at 20,917 cases of COVID-19 that have been reported in SLO County, with 217 active cases. The total number of deaths due to COVID-19 remains at 256 in the county, and our thoughts are still with our loved ones. We can only begin to imagine what they're going through. 178,727 doses have been administered in SLO County of the COVID vaccine, with eligibility now open to all those 16 and over, and that is across the state. So really great to see those vaccination numbers continue to increase. A reminder that testing is still available, and you can learn more at readyslo.org. And for vaccines, visit recoverslo.org. With that, Bettina, back to you.
Yes, thank you, Rachel. And I think it's important to note that we are still hanging out in that red tier. I know, especially for our fitness members, we're looking forward to opening up a little further so you can have more capacity, and hopefully we'll get some news tomorrow, and maybe we from the city will talk a little bit more about what that will look like, but we are still in that red tier. There's also a special hospitality employee vaccination session that our friends at the Tourism Marketing District at Visit SLOCal have been pushing, and we know that restaurant workers and all hospitality employees are open to that. Again, the message is get vaccinated, it's free. Make sure that you're providing time to your employees so that they can make time to do that. That's what's going to get us out of this. I want to give a special shout out to those of you who helped out with our downtown cleanup day on Saturday, and a special thank you to Cassidy Shevlin, our AmeriCorps service member, who coordinated this fantastic day. We had about 30 volunteers cleaning up 25 blocks of downtown. You can see they even got down into the creek, picking up some trash down in the creek. We had them wiping down benches, picking up litter, doing all kinds of great things. And a special thank you to Councilmember Erica Stewart for joining us. And also I just want to give a shout out to our friend Courtney Kino for bringing her entire family and her adorable puppy along. So that was a good time was had by all, and it's just fun to see downtown sparkle. We'll be doing these again, and let us know if you want to participate. And again, a thank you to Cassidy for setting that up. Upcoming meetings this week. It's a busy week. Tomorrow night is the strategic budget review session for the 2-year budget. City Council will be starting at 5:30 p.m. You can participate from anywhere. There is a 155-page agenda packet. So if you have not read it in its entirety, that's completely understandable. I have not either, but there are some things that you might want to pay attention to from a downtown perspective, particularly the issues around parking, and particularly also the issues around economic recovery and resiliency. There are some really exciting, forward-thinking proposals that the staff has been working on to create a work plan that goes along with those major city goals. And it's in your interest to tune in if you can. I really encourage it. There's likely to be a very good discussion, and the city staff has been working really hard on putting this budget together. The next morning, when you're not too tired from staying up late to watch the City Council meeting, you are invited to join us for our business education series. We'll be focusing on homelessness in the downtown, and we have some really important speakers who are going to be providing a lot of information for you. Derek Johnson, the city manager from San Luis Obispo, will be talking about some of the major city goals. Housing and homelessness is actually one of the major city goals in the city budget for the next 2-year cycle. He'll be talking about what that's going to look like. We also have 2 representatives from the county who will talk about the services that the county provides through their Department of Social Services, as well as their strategic planning going forward. And then we'll have a social worker and an outreach worker talk with you about how they're working with our unhoused neighbors to connect them to solutions and trying to get them into long-term housing as a path away from being homeless. And then finally, we'll have our downtown sergeant, Jason Dickel, talking about some tools for you as a business owner downtown to work with the law enforcement agencies to make sure you have the right resources if you're having issues with trespassing, safety in front of your business, etc. We really do hope that you'll join us for this event. We have about 22 people signed up now, and hopefully you can sign up now. I think the link is in the chat. We are asking for advanced registration in that so we know how many people are coming. And with that, I will invite our supervisor, Dawn Ortiz-Legg. Good morning. Thanks for joining us every Monday. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. Good to see everyone, and a great start to the week with all that news. Bravo to the team for the downtown cleanup. I mean, that's awesome. I would have been there. I'm calling in from Illinois, which it says 41 degrees and sleeting, but otherwise I'm good. I'm not, but Dad turned 85, and so I'm happy to be here with him, but I'm also happy to be here with you folks too. I just wanted to check in on a couple of things with you. One, I think that you said it very well, Bettina, in that the vaccination process is really the most critical thing we need to be pushing right now. More and more, I keep hearing from people like, I'm not ready to do it. I'm not sure, this kind of stuff. And I mean, it's like, we got to do it. Okay. This is really critical. Global pandemics do happen every so many 100 years. And, if anybody has ever traveled to underdeveloped regions of the world, that those who have experienced all sorts of diseases that we really have eradicated here in North America and other parts of the world, they take vaccination very seriously. And if they had the chance to get a free vaccine, they would do it and stand in line for days to get it, because they know what an impact that is on their lives and their children and their families. So I really can't, stress enough how we need to be positively messaging the importance of us all getting our vaccine. And a reason why is that many of us like to travel, and we like to have visitors to come to downtown SLO. And so, at the airport here at the county, we are getting ready to announce some more additional flights coming in. There's going to be more marketing and more, I should say marketing on safe travel is really what the messaging is going to be. So that's not ready to completely roll out, but things are all organized, and I'll let the airport people do that. But the point is that, when I was just traveling from San Luis Obispo directly through Denver to Chicago, it was very busy. So we know that the demand is there. We want to be ready for them when they come. And so I'm very excited about the fact that we are actually going to start having that flight to San Diego that we talked about. I think that we're going to get a lot of visitors up this way, and I think that Portland also coming back on. These are flights that we're hoping to add as soon as possible. So things are lining up, but we all have to do our part, of course. Back on the Downtown Association, today in the Brookings Institute, they're talking about recovery for downtowns. And I'm going to put that link in when I finish here. But one of the things that they really mentioned is creativity. And I can't, again, like I always like to do, is that you guys impress me so much. And all of the creative ways that you're trying to bring business back to downtown, working with the community, events, cleaning up. All of those things make our downtown so very special. And so I salute you, and I want to be a part of helping in doing whatever we can do. With that, I want to thank those who have called into me and had appointments in regards or sent me emails on the American Recovery, or it's actually American, it's not the American Recovery Act. What's the word? Response? Is it recovery? I can't remember. It's
the plan?
The ARPA.
The ARP.
ARPA? Yeah, the funds that came from the Biden administration, the ARPA funds. It's American Recovery Act or Response Act or something like that. But I really appreciate those who reached out and talked to me about some of the issues that they have within their businesses. And I can tell you that we are adding these things in and putting it back to the subcommittee, Supervisor Pashong and Supervisor Gibson. And then on May 4th, I think there will be a much more robust discussion. I will report back to you on when you can call in and make your calls into the board in regards to the needs that you may have in your business, because I think they need to hear directly. We've added that in, of course, but there's nothing like a public testimony. So that's kind of what's going in there. And other than that, I think I'll just be here for questions. And we have a board meeting tomorrow. A lot of consent agenda items. I went through it again to see what really would be impactful to the downtown. And there's not a lot. There's not really a lot that I can say that's completely that has anything really to do with downtown. But again, I'll keep my eye open, and I'm always here for you if you have something you'd like to discuss with me.
Thank you so much. And I saw, I think it was on your official Facebook page that you have open office hours. Is that true? Are you keeping
that? Is correct. Thursdays, 1 to 3, open office hours. Thank you for bringing that up, Bettina. Yes. So if anybody wants to call in or let me know you want to save some time, that would be a time that you for sure catch me. Okay. Thanks.
Great. Well, we appreciate you being here, especially on your family trip, and happy birthday to your dad. 85 years young. That's great. That's very good.
That's right.
And I'm especially excited to hear about those upcoming flights. That's really going to make a difference, not just for downtown, but for our county. And one of the things that we've been talking about internally is the fact that we haven't actually seen a summer tourism season with our 2 new hotels in place, because Hotel SLO opened in October 2019 and Hotel Zero opened in February. So it's kind of hard to think about what it's going to look like this summer. It's going to be hopping is what it's going to be. It's going to be great. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Up next, we're going to invite Courtney Keno, who is hopefully cleaned up from her picking up trash on Saturday. Thanks again for bringing your family out on Saturday. And,
yeah. Good morning. It was so fun to do. I'm grateful that you all give us that opportunity. And I just, I've always loved downtown, but there's something, you look at it differently after you've cleaned it and just so much pride in that space. So thank you to Cassidy, Bettina, and the whole team for the ways that you allow us to those opportunities. And at Cal Poly, we are kicking off our 4th week of the spring quarter. And I just have 2 quick announcements to share with you this morning. One of them is really exciting as we're Supervisor Ortiz and Bettina and Rachel were talking about 2 vaccines. We officially are opening up our point of distribution at Cal Poly. And we will start administering those vaccines tomorrow to students. We opened up appointments last week for this week, and those appointments are filled with students getting the vaccine, and got our first shipment of Pfizer vaccine. So it just feels like a big moment in time for Cal Poly, and a lot of work to get to this point. And then the second thing I wanted to update you all about is regarding commencement, which will take place the weekend of June 12th and 13th this year. And I feel like there should be somebody do a drum roll. As long as we are in the orange tier or better, we will host modified in-person graduation recognition events, one for each college in Spanos Stadium. So we will have the virtual commencement, the really big ceremony where every name will be read off on the 11th. And then the 12th and 13th, we will have one in-person recognition event for each college. Each participating graduate will receive 2 guest tickets to attend the recognition events. And this is in line with the recommendations from the California Public Health Department that I've teased the last few weeks, and for graduates who want to participate in in-person events and experiences, and to be able to walk across the stage and feel really official about this hard work that they've done the last 4 or 5 years. The events won't be completely traditional, but will give graduates that opportunity to have some in-person engagement. And then we also announced this past week that we're going to have a special recognition event for the class of 2020 and their families, and that will take place in December, and more details on that will be announced in July. And that's all I have for this morning.
Well, that's big news. That's definitely big news. I mean, I know we all look forward to having commencement because it brings so many visitors downtown. So we'll need to plan accordingly and start to staff up and look at all of those hotel rooms getting filled and all of those restaurants being full of customers and all those shops just, ringing up those sales. So that's great news. Do you have any updates on what things are going to look like in the fall, or is it too soon to tell yet?
It's not too soon to tell. The chancellor announced a few weeks ago that the goal is to be as back to normal as possible. So we plan to have mostly in-person classes, to have most of our services on campus open. That does depend on having a lot of our population vaccinated. But we're on the path there, and with the county's efforts to really increase status and visibility around vaccines and just people receiving the vaccine, we're planning with a very close to normal sort of environment on campus for the fall.
Wow, that's really exciting. Thank you for telling us that. I think maybe we've suspected that was the case, but this may have been the first time I've actually heard those words spoken out loud. So that's a big deal, and it will be, it just brings us a lot of hope to think about all those people being back in town and back downtown and back working in our shops and everything. So thank you for that, Courtney. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
All right, and up next we have Jim D'Antona from the Chamber of Commerce. Good morning, Jim. How are you today?
I'm great, Bettina. Good to see you. Good to see everyone on the call. Thanks for having us today. I want to kick us off with, I kind of gave a hint last time or a couple times ago about we were launching a new program called Cracking the Government Code. So it's officially launched, and we will have a conversation. The idea behind it is not necessarily something like it's not like a college education course on government. It's really about how to get engaged. So this is meant for business owners. It's meant for people who, like Bettina just said, we have a 155-page budget report. Do you need to read all 155 pages of it? Or are there some shortcuts that people like myself and the speakers will be having that can tell you how to maybe shortcut through that to get to the piece? Because we really want to get to a level of engagement. Our first event, which will start in May, is the first Thursday in May, is called Government 101. And we have a great lineup of speakers with, we have Rochelle, the city manager out of Atascadero, Supervisor Ortiz is joining us, former council member Christine Johnson from Morro Bay City Council. So this is kind of a really wide, it's not just focused on the city of SLO, it's a county-wide idea. It's the idea that we want people to get engaged. So if you know someone who should be involved or wants to be involved in government, just to be maybe even a good citizen, or maybe has some aspirations about being an elected official, this program, it's 5 courses over once a month, May, June, July, August, and September. We'll have, you can buy the whole series, you can buy individuals, but the first one's Government 101. The second one is a who does what, you know, as we talk about homelessness, you know, the city has some work in it, but a lot of it goes at the county and the state. So how do you know, understanding where to go lobby to get these resources to the right spot. There's our second one. The third one, budgets. Like, can we just change the whole budget tomorrow if we wanted to at the city government? No, you can't. It's really hard to move even small dollars. So getting to understand that, we'll look at that from the county and the cities. So really kind of a fun discussion. Of course, planning landscape, unless you're Pat Arnold and understand how all the zoning and general plan and all those, a conditional use permit and a planned unit development work, you may be arguing on some of the things that, you know, you can't change. So we'll be doing a fourth one on planning and land use. And then the last one is just overall how to get involved and really kind of connecting direct pieces of how to engage your government so we can be better citizens. And then hopefully if you want to become an elected official, that you're like, yes, I know how I can make a difference and I know what options I have to change. And so that's this theory for here that we're going to go ahead and get that plan going. Love to have you send it around. We think it's going to be a great way for engaging the community on that one.
Jim, is there a cost to participate in that program?
There is. Yeah, so there is a cost. There are ticketed events. If you buy all 5, there's a discount. It's $20 per if you buy the whole set, or $25 if you buy them individually. So that is, we try to keep it affordable. You know, again, great sponsors like our friend right here, Carl Dudley, and Pac Western, and the bank was a sponsor. Cal Poly's a sponsor. They helped us try to keep these costs down so we can put on this great event. It'll certainly be virtual right now. Who knows what it'll look like come, I guess, July, August, September, if things open up more. But it'll start out virtual. And the idea is hopefully we get enough people who can stay connected here that can then kind of work together on teams. So it's also a great way to kind of build bridges on common points of interest through this class. So we are going to keep it limited. It's definitely not going to be, at a certain point, we're going to cut it off just because at some point we could be in person and we want everybody to have kind of a similar experience to this. Additionally, we have Good Morning SLO on Thursday. We will have our new SLO City's new Chief of Police speaking. Rick Scott I had a great chance to connect with him. I think we're going to be in really good shape. But if you want to hear him speak directly, he'll be at our Good Morning SLO event. We also have some other great speakers, again, coming on. And we're starting to, if you go to those, we'll have a great survey afterwards. We're interested to know, how soon do you want to be live on this? Do you want to see Good Morning SLO in person? Which should be lots of fun. And then just finally, we have our business impact survey that's coming out it closes on Friday. So if you have a chance and haven't had a chance to fill out this, we'd just love, again, get your feeling, get the sense, see where things are going for your businesses. So again, so that we can put the pieces in place that need to be there at the government level to keep us on the road to recovery. So that was a long-winded one, but thanks for giving us a chance to do this, Bettina. I think it's going to be the government code one is one that we were really excited about.
We love it. Well, we're looking forward to it, and we're going to have a little soapbox at the Good Morning SLO. So hopefully everybody will tune in for that. It's always fun to see a soapbox. Great. Thank you very much, Jim. Appreciate that. And I also want to give you another shout out for the amazing bike plaza, the improvements that are going in front of the chamber and the official visitor center there. The Bike SLO County has been doing a ton of work and it just looks fantastic. So if you are a bicyclist, you should park your bike in front of the SLO chamber and check it out.
Yeah, the city, and again, we want to thank the city, RM, and SLO Bike SLO County. They were doing an amazing job of making that a fun place and a great spot to just park your bike.
Totally. That's great. Well, thank you so much, Jim. And up next, we are going to invite Mr. Lee Johnson from the city of SLO.
Hello, Bettina. Can you see and hear me okay?
Yes, good morning.
Good morning. All right, a couple things. Jim and you both mentioned the cracking the government code and the budget process, which is one of the most important things we do, because if it's not in the budget for the next 2 years, it's very difficult to change. So we will be at council tomorrow night. If you decide to look at the package, the stuff on the economic recovery starts on page 28 in the packet, and then the actual things particularly related to downtown are on page 32. You can see all of the big picture stuff and then all the individual tasks that we have planned, and the money and resources put to each of those tasks. So there's a lot of good stuff in there. There's a lot of resources going to the economic recovery and resiliency efforts, and so that will, I think, be a big piece of discussion tomorrow night, but it's pretty exciting stuff, and hopefully we get additional direction and we can move forward.
I would just add too, thank you for those page numbers. Parking is on page 114 in the packet.
Yep. There you go. The numbers wise, as far as COVID in the orange tier, we had good numbers last week and we were in the orange tier with the numbers. So if they are in the orange tier again tomorrow, then we will move to orange on Wednesday. That being said, it always comes down to testing and our testing numbers. If they are good enough, that brings our case count down under the adjusted total, and we're in. So it'll kind of be a last minute thing. We'll know tomorrow, and then the announcements will come out from the county as well as the city if we're able to move to the orange tier. If the numbers aren't where they need to be tomorrow, then it's at least 2 more weeks, because you have to have 2 weeks with the numbers in the right place. So we're hoping on that. And then the state released additional guidance for indoor seated live events and performances, as well as private venues and events last Thursday early in the morning. The county is working on checklists. I don't know that they've been posted yet, but they're working on updating their site with some additional checklists for those events. When you look at that, you will see that a lot of the responsibility falls to the venues and the promoters or the people organizing the events, because there's different numbers for groups that are either vaccinated or tested. So that will, people have to manage that process. It should be interesting. Let's just put it that way. Otherwise, that is it for me today.
Great. Thank you very much, Lee. And I know you and I were having an email exchange last week about the some sales tax figures, and that might be a helpful thing to share with the group maybe next week, if we can just high level stuff.
Yeah, as soon as, I think what we were talking about, we were going back and forth, was the kind of tentative numbers. As soon as we have the firm ones, we can definitely talk about that. I mean, in general, sales tax is recovering. Some particular areas of the city have done as well as they they normally do or better, particularly LOVR corridor, car dealers, all the big shops, that kind of stuff. So downtown is also on the right track. We should have here shortly data from the cell phone data to be able to see the visitor rates downtown things. Should have that here the next day or two. That'll be interesting to see for the last couple of months. So yes, as soon as that data is available, more than happy to share.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. All right. Well, with that in mind, we just have a couple other exciting creative things to share with you. I'm going to try to share my screen and do it correctly this time, because we've only been doing this for 1.5 years, and you would think that I know what the heck I'm doing. Thank you to those of you who are smiling, and that is not what I want to share with you. Good grief. All right. Well, I'll just tell you about it. How about that? So we are really excited about what's happening with the Mayflowers downtown. And maybe Rachel, you could share while I talk through this. If you could pull it up on your screen, that would be helpful. Over the weekend in our Downtown Cleanup Day, we also had some very special guests come to the Mission Plaza. The Trust Children's Center came out, and they had started a chalk art crew. They even got t-shirts you can see here. And they started doing some chalk art in Mission Plaza to start the Mayflower work. So I want to give a shout out to the SLO Museum of Art. Their wonderful pop-up in Mission Plaza, brought to us by the city, is Through the Flowers. So we're kind of taking this opportunity in April with the Through the Flowers, and then moving into the Mayflower Initiative to activate the space with both items. You can see too, there's a beautiful chalk art mural done by Katie McGrath. It's a number of flowers that are representing the progression of motherhood. So it's a flower from a bud all the way to full bloom. And it'll be a really lovely testament to what Mother's Day can be in downtown. So on the next slide, we have some other exciting things happening. We're going to have a scavenger hunt. The Children's Museum has a monarch butterfly scavenger hunt and wayfinding activity, and that will be going live May 1st. And then our events team and I had a chance to tour the Cal Poly Rose Float team facility and their laboratory on Saturday afternoon to see what they've got coming up for their piece of the activation in Mission Plaza. It's going to be absolutely astonishing. So really looking forward to that. And you're going to see, as you walk around downtown, all of the windows coming to light. So we have professional artists who are integrating their the children of business owners. On the lower left, you can see Sam from Garden Street Goldsmiths. Her parents and grandparents own that business, and their artist put her to work. She had a great time doing that. A number of the windows are blooming right now, and we will continue to see those bloom through the first week of May and probably beyond. So we have about 90 businesses and windows downtown that are going to be activated. Thank you so much to all of the artists who are providing their services and all of the businesses who are providing their windows. What fun to see downtown blossom like this. On the next slide. We still have gloves. So if you need gloves, please let us know. Our supply of boxes is dwindling, but really, like, if you need them, we would love for them to get onto your hands and out from us. And I think that other than the fact that we are hiring, we have our operations and public space manager position and 2 program assistance positions available. Those program assistants will be working with Farmers Market and Concerts in the Plaza. Those are the 2 things that we're looking for the most. So if you know somebody who's interested in working for a dynamic, fun, vibrant, and never a dull moment kind of organization where we have a lot of fun, please send them my direction. We'd love to hear from them. And with that, if there are any questions, please throw those up in the chat. We had some great content this morning. I know we'll all see you at the City Council meeting tomorrow. And we'll all see you on Wednesday morning for our business education workshop on downtown homelessness, and we're looking forward to that. So thank you for being here. Hopefully you had an enjoyable experience on this Zoom this morning. I hope you have a great Monday, a beautiful week, and we look forward to seeing you next Monday right here. Thanks, everybody.